Hi, my name is George,
Utvecklas.
and our talk is on the evolution of drain attacks. So what is draining? Draining is just a term to describe a scam in which malicious smart contracts deceive victims into authorizing transactions that allow attackers to transfer their crypto, oftentimes posed as a get-rich-quick scheme or other incentives to get them to quickly attach their wallets to the site.
Now, the very first abuse of this attack vector is on Ethereum blockchain, and it's with a proper method called set approval for all. This is usually used for exchange sites. So if you have altcoins on the Ethereum network, like Tether or your favorite meme coin, and you want to change it to Ethereum, then you would have to approve your tokens to be able to be exchanged by that website and used by that website. So that's why set approval for all is important, and it grants the website, like you can see here, OpenSea, access to that specific token, and it can spend it. And then in 2021, somebody thought to abuse this and to put this on their own phishing site. And if you approve it, then the attacker who operates the phishing site can use your tokens.
Similar to the set approval for all function, the EIP 2612 permit function enables gasless approvals via signatures. Now, while with the previous contract, you're approving your funds to be spent, here you're just signing a seemingly innocent signature. But once you've signed this signature, drainers can craft malicious permits that never expire and push your transactions through once you've signed it, which means they pay for the gas and transfer your tokens out of your wallet into theirs, all just from a seemingly innocent signature. Now, as we described, the first initial evolution of draining was singular token draining of ERC20 tokens. But as draining got more advanced, Inferno Drainer came out, which requests approvals for all of your tokens in one click. As you can see here, a victim was scammed of over $500,000 worth of NFTs and altcoins in one click, which goes to show how you have to be very, very careful when you're interacting with these websites. As of 2025, Ethereum recently underwent a new upgrade called the Petra upgrade. This introduced EIP 7702's off-chain set code message, which enables wallet takeovers as of a couple months ago. So similar to the permit function, once signed, this lets threat actors have full control over your funds, and it can be exploited, and they can move your coins and NFTs out of your wallet.
Now, the second blockchain to be abused besides Ethereum was Solana. And this was a unique blockchain to be abused because with ETH, you could drain the tokens such as the altcoins and the NFTs. But with Solana, it was unique because you can drain native Solana tokens. So there was a lot of risk with Solana. It contrasted the Ethereum meta by a lot. On top of the native Solana tokens, you could also get drained SPL tokens, which are basically the ERC20 standard, but on the Solana blockchain. So your Solana altcoins, yeah. And then the third blockchain to be abused would be Ton, which is Telegram's own native coins, called the Ton network. And native Ton can be drained, and also Jet Tons, which are Tons blockchains ERC20. And these are used by, this draining method is just a singular attack vector with fake safeguard bots or any mini apps. Yeah. Now, talking about deployments for these drain attacks, it's very common for them to be on Discord takeovers. That's when it was first abused in 2021. It was first abused on Discord takeovers, as you can see in this screenshot. This was Bored Ape Yacht Club's Discord that got compromised. Hundreds of Discords were compromised every single month in 2021, and they were the first abusers. And then it became Twitter takeovers and Instagram takeovers, and then phishing sites became popular. These would be deployed on Google Ads. So when you search up your favorite crypto website, it would have like a fake phishing site as the first result because they paid for Google Ads, and then replies on Twitter impersonating real projects, legitimate projects with fake phishing sites. And then also in late 2021, it was the first example of a domain takeover. So a website called Premint, it was very popular in the NFT days, their registrar got hacked, and Premint's name servers were changed to a malicious name server, and it was the correct domain. If you went to premint.xyz, you wouldn't notice anything was off, but the name servers were taken over, so it was malicious draining that was happening, and there have been a lot of instances of this happening since. So you always have to make sure that you're checking on what you're signing, even if it is a familiar domain. And then there are, of course, targeted schemes and fake legitimate projects.
You can talk on this.
Do you want to go there?
Yeah.
Now, some more deployments are account takeovers. Going more in depth about that, they would usually be corrupt representatives on X, Instagram, and TikTok, or that's usually how they'd happen. There's also phishing bots on Discord, Collabland. I don't think you have to worry about that, but these are just how the takeovers happened. Social engineering attacks, representative attacks. Yeah. Now going over the domains that these attackers use. They're usually phishing domains with typos in the name or fake project ideas. And the registrars are usually Namecheap and Njala because these registrars accept cryptocurrency. But thankfully, they have really good efforts on taking down the website. So if you do see a draining site or you are a victim of it, you can whois the domain and go to Namecheap and report it. This is Namecheap, of course. And this is Njala. But they're really good with the Wi-Fi's bad, but that's Njala. But they're really good with taking down domains that abuse it. And also, a lot of attackers use Cloudflare to prevent DDoSing, but it's a double-edged sword because Cloudflare is also really good with taking down the websites. So you can just head over to a DNS checker and then look up the name servers of whatever website. And if it's Cloudflare, you can report it and get it taken down.
So now we get into DAAS, also known as draining as a service. So in 2021, the invention of draining as a service came out, where before, all the threat actors had to actually code their own drainers, spending hours and hours and hours of time to get them live. But an innovative scammer named Monkey democratized draining and basically gave free access for these threat actors to run wild using his source code to go and drain victims. But of course, this came with a catch. 20 to 30% of the cuts of the scams would go directly to Monkey or whoever developed these open source drainers. Beyond that, they also incentivized drainers to go bigger and bigger with leaderboards and bigger cuts and incentives for the more people that they scam using their programs. From Monkey Drainer, then came Pink Drainer, Inferno Drainer, and Angel Drainer. As I mentioned before, as these new competitive drainers came out, they needed to stand out from the new marketplace in which they offered incentivized, gamified draining leaderboards, which were popular on Telegram and a lot of these underground scenes. It was like a big flex to the people around in the community if you're on these leaderboards. With draining as a service becoming bigger and bigger in 2021 and less back-end knowledge needed to actually start draining, it became more popular. And thus, Revoke Cash was created. Revoke Cash is just a service that allows you to remove all token approvals on your wallet. So if 2 years ago you signed off on a contract, you may still be vulnerable. So it's a great resource. You just paste your address in and it'll tell you all the permissions you have given, even if you aren't aware of it. But from here, scammers would create fake Revoke Cash drainer websites and spread misinformation that big protocols got hacked and would basically incentivize you to connect your wallet to their compromised Revoke Cash sites. So always be careful to check what you're signing off on. Beyond there, in 2022, MetaMask released a new update, which included a warning pop-up when a contract requests a set approval for all permission. And this was the real first effort by MetaMask to prevent draining abuse and really recognizing that people are out here exploiting these contracts.
So some more infrastructure updates to help with draining by the White Hats is OpenSea began flagging and freezing stolen NFTs, and you couldn't buy NFTs or sell NFTs as a threat actor if they were stolen. But unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, another NFT marketplace launched called Blur, and so every White Hat effort was thwarted by a different one. It's just cat and mouse game. But Blur is a decentralized marketplace where you could just sell stolen assets. Yeah. And another infrastructure update is nowadays, if you want to launch a project, you have to seek approval from MetaMask, Phantom, Blowfish, which are the leading authorities in just if you want to launch a project and you need to have legitimate approvals, you need to be whitelisted or else you'll be red flagged, such as this is what it would look like. Well, the Wi-Fi is down, but it would red page, so yeah.
So one of the main ways to kind of combat these scams is spreading awareness. So a lot of big influencers in the space, such as ZachXBT and NFT Herder on X, often dive into these investigations behind these drainers. As you can see here, here's a little breakdown over Monkey Drainer. But beyond just individuals spreading awareness of these scams, there's lots of big services out there, such as WalletGuard, Blowfish, Rainbow Me. Web3isgoinggreat.com is a great checkout if you're interested in all of the exploits and scams going on in the ecosystem, and Scam Sniffer as well. So you clicked on a scam site, connected your wallet, and got drained. Don't fret, there is some hope left. The first recovery method that I would recommend is reaching out to the SEAL team. They're a team of intelligence that are online 24/7 basically to assist you with any crypto-related scams. Really friendly people, really easy to access. Beyond that, I would immediately report all funds to any exchanges that the funds have moved to. Sometimes, if you catch them in time, they're able to freeze the funds on their exchange and return it back to you, the victim, if you provide proof along with a police report. On top of that, if the token that was stolen is USDC or USDT, you can reach out to Circle and Tether directly, and they will freeze the tokens on their end, along with a police report. And once you've done all of the above, you can reach out to Etherscan or whatever block explorer you were scammed on and get them to tag the malicious contracts as scamming/phishing to prevent other people from getting scammed.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So another effort is Blockade, which is a service that prevents you from getting drained. That's built into most of the extensions, so you don't have to worry about outsourcing this. But when they recently partnered with MetaMask, it did a entire disruption through the draining industry, and a few drainers shut down, most notably Inferno Drainer, which we covered earlier. Let me see if I can get this working. So you can see here, this is the creator of Inferno Drainer, or a co-creator, and he's upset. Yeah. Now, let's say that these attackers steal money. They're going to have to launder the funds so it doesn't get frozen on them. They can do this through Tornado Cash, instant exchanges like Fixed Float. Gambling sites is also common, Stake and Rollbit. There's other avenues as well, such as people named Watch King, Bitrefill. These are popular avenues used. And it is important knowing this because if your funds do get stolen, you'll have to know how these attackers launder the money so you can have any hope of freezing the funds once they try to obfuscate their trail. Another one is ThorSwap, which attackers use it to change chains, but it does have an explorer, and a lot of attackers don't know this. So you can easily deobfuscate the trail. And we have a proof of concept right here of laundering. So let's say your funds get stolen. This is your 0.28 ETH, and it's in the attacker's wallet now. They try to obfuscate their trail. They send it to an instant exchange like Fixed Float, which we covered here. If it loads, but you can just instantly change chains, and it's very popular with threat actors. But doing a little proof of concept to find the trail, you can just go to there on your favorite block explorer, find Fixed Float, if it loads. And then you'll click Advanced Filter, wait for Cloudflare. While we're waiting on Cloudflare, we also have a demonstration.
We only have 2 minutes.
It's okay. It's okay.
They said we have to go. Just wrap it up. Just said the Wi-Fi isn't working for both.
But the Wi-Fi isn't working for Etherscan. But if you'd like to learn more, we do have a demo on defcondemo.com. Maybe your Wi-Fi loads on your own device. But we go more in depth about the different attack vectors, and you can see legitimate, like, real source code of these drainers if you want to dissect it and see like a technical analysis. We also have working drainers on our website if you'd like to see like what a pop-up looks like, and if you want to lose your money, but I don't suggest authorizing it. But if you want to see what it looks like, you can go to defcondemo.com. And that is our website with our draining demonstrations. Thank you.
Thank you.